about the families in your lives. Think about your kids' families. Think about your own family. Think about families that you might be in touch with that, might be having a little bit of a hard time right now. So what we like to share is that parents never know all they will need to know before their children are born, right? Life circumstances change. Children come with special strengths, but they also sometimes come with vulnerabilities, or they come with special needs and challenges. And we know that physical and mental challenges may occur in any family, any socioeconomic level. We all have challenges. And relationships may suffer because of the stresses that are put on families because of that. So what we believe in as Changing Children's World's Foundation is that we are part of making and creating communities, strong communities. We need a world and a community where when parents become parents, they have support. And maybe they have support for the next 20 years. How many of you are parenting adult children kind of right now, right? Teens going in, they still need our support. We're still really important throughout their lifetimes. So we have resources, and very unique resources, that we can provide that kind of support to families. And at Changing Children's World's Foundation, we can provide this by partnering with schools, mental health agencies. We work with community organizations, and we also partner with jails. We partner with institutions that work with residential children and youth. We partner with even with hospitals, mental health agencies, and anywhere really families are, because wherever they are, we know that they need support. So sometimes we have parents who are really struggling. So our organization provides a program called the Best Start for Families, a health equity approach. That means no matter where maybe you're having struggles, no matter what your challenges are, they could be economic, they could be mental health, they could be substance abuse, they can be a child with special needs, a parent with special needs, a divorce, immigration, so many different needs. We know that we can provide a program that helps parents build confidence, knowledge, gives them the information and the tools they need to have strong relationships with our kids. Because having a strong relationship with our kids is a protective factor for them. So no matter, even when they're little, and we're encouraging them and finding their strengths and encouraging them to find the power and the beauty within themselves, that's helping them to be prepared to thrive in a world that isn't always friendly or welcoming. So we're preparing our kids to be strong, and that's what our program does. It helps us as parents and caregivers to be able to support our kids to be strong and thrive and see the best in themselves. But sometimes we do have parents who never had those positives themselves, and those parents then are trying to parent their kids. Usually they're trying to parent in a better and different way. They might not know how, they might not have those skills, they might not have the knowledge, the information, the tools, and so our program, whether we do it in jail, which we do a 10-week program in jail twice a week, so parents who are there who've never had positive parenting can say, and usually they tell us, I wish my parents had known this, and they almost always also say, now that I know this, I am going to do it differently with my kids. And that's the change that we look for and that we can make happen, because our program is an evidence-based program. Not all parenting programs and even family support programs are evidence-based. We submitted our program and the statistics behind it. Amy, an incoming board member and statistician, will tell you more about this. But the Centers for Disease Control reviewed our methodology, our instruments, our evaluation results, and they gave us, just almost a year ago, they gave us a special status of effective promising practice, because we can prove that when parents start here, they go here with our program. And Amy might be gonna say this later, but so we can prove that parents, any parent, we have programs in schools, any parent, who has a kid in the school can come to our program, that when they start here, they get to hear. What we also know is when we're working with parents in jails, they sometimes really don't hear. Because they don't have that experience, that positive experience, right? They start here, but they can come up to here. And so what we find is that people who need our program the most benefit the most. And so we have a program that can be paid for, except most of the parents that we really are targeting and we're trying to get to come are parents who are struggling the most. And parents who are struggling the most probably don't have the resources. And that's why we are always fundraising. We're always doing grant writing. We're always saying, please support us, because we need to bring the program to those parents. And so today I'm going to ask you a couple questions. We have a Why Do Parents Need Support question series in an email, kind of a year-end campaign that we're doing right now. Who knows? How many people have died in the U.S. due to COVID to date? How many know? Anyone know? What is that number? How many people have died in the U.S. due to COVID so far? It is currently 1.1 million. Do you know how that translates for our kids? It means that, does anyone know how many kids have lost a parent or a primary caregiver since COVID began? 200,000. 200,000 kids have lost a parent or a primary caregiver that they've depended on, that their lives are disrupted. So we want to reach those so many families that are impacted. Do you know how many children are in the child welfare system nationally? Almost 120,000 kids who are ages 5 to 13 years are not living with their parents or with their families. They are in the foster system. And that's only kids 5 to 13. That's not counting the babies and the little guys, and it's also not counting the adolescents who are soon going to age out of the welfare system. So we can do better, right? We can do better for families to help them keep their kids, and then we can do better for the foster children who are going to start a new cycle of parenting and families. We can do better by providing supportive programs and services that can help them build that resilience to overcome the traumas that'll come. Everyone has some experience of trauma, heartache, struggle in their lives, but there are some families who have it so much harder than others. I'm not going to ask the rest of the questions. I have some other questions, but I'm going to leave those. We have a little handout that we will leave you as we leave. And if you're on our mailing list, you'll be getting these answers every week. We're sending out some answers to this question series. But what I want to kind of finish up with is parents are experiencing justifiable fears, right? The anxiety, the depression, the fear is real. I mean, we've got fatal school attacks, job layoffs, COVID, other health issues, relationship dysfunction, divorce, separation up with COVID, domestic violence, direct or exposure to within their households, mental health issues, their own, but also others in their families, substance abuse going on, and really, really scary. We're working now with DuPage County probations, specifically for parents who are actually on probation because of substance abuse, and they've got little kids. We're working a whole new project with this population and seeing the need just growing. Hate crimes, road rage, lack of resources, lack of resiliency at a time when we all need it. Immigration, refugees, families who are really struggling in a climate that is very fearful, right? Families in poverty. And so when you think about how life's challenges impact all of us, when you think about it, sometimes what we see in the populations that we work with is the tip of the iceberg. And I'm going to send you a visual on this to share, if you would. The tip of the iceberg, what we see sometimes is anger, aggression, violence, fear, defeat, desperation. That's what we see. What are the emotions beneath that? I'm going to go from table to table, back table. What is an emotion that is underneath the anger, aggression, violence, fear, defeat, and desperation that can create the negative kind of social feelings that I just mentioned? What?
I would say fatigue.
Fatigue, great. Fatigue, being overwhelmed. Next table.
I think you're describing our staff meeting.
Try again.
Maybe loss or.
Loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, depression,
Yeah.
sadness, and sometimes
Shame.
shame. Perfect. Humiliation, and kind of a confusion sometimes about why I'm doing everything right. I'm trying to do everything right, and I still have it stacked against me. That table.
Anxiety.
Anxiety, absolutely. Anxiety, stress,
No self-confidence.
lack of self-confidence, and it could even be a result of the kind of societal impact, right? I mean, it could be discrimination that makes me feel less than. Right.
I was gonna say fear of failure.
Fear of
You might say-
failure. Yeah, no, perfect. And there are so many other emotions that when we have these emotions that you just named, we can get kind of mad and a little cranky. We can get a little bit bitter and a little bit, a little bit upset. So when you think about the families that we work with, they're going through all these emotions, and then they're expected to thrive and succeed and really do well in the world. So our program is one that not only talks about parenting skills, it talks about the beauty in everyone we work with, strength and the power, the goodness in everyone that we work with, whether it's a parent or an adolescent or a child. We're finding their beauty and their power and their goodness, and we're saying, you got this, you can do this, and let's do this together. That's what our organization does. So it's a little different. Let me see if I'm supposed to end there. No, well, so just, I'm gonna turn it over to Amy. So my last word is, when we've worked with kids before, we've had kids even tell us, one girl told us, I think you saved my dad's life, because they were coming together to the program. And we've got kids in Chicago public schools where we ask the teachers, so what changed? And the teacher said, they're not fighting anymore. They're talking about their emotions. They're talking together and working things out. These are real change, and we can do this together.